गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिर्पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं मंत्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। आनन्दमानन्दकरं प्रसन्नं ज्ञानस्वरूपं निजबोधितं योगिनमीढ्यं घोरोगवैद्यं श्रीमद्गुरुं नित्यमहं नमामि श्रीमद्गुरुं नित्यमहं नमामि। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की सद्गुरु शिवानंद महाराज की। हम अभी एक यज्ञ, पता नहीं है 5 दिवसीय यज्ञ या 7 दिवसीय यज्ञ, एक यज्ञ करने में अभी प्रस्तुत हो रहे हैं। और वो यज्ञ क्या है? हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में एक ऐसा अतुल्य एक विचार जो है, जिस विचार अन्य देशों में, अन्य संस्कृतियों में या अन्य धर्मों के अंदर हम प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते हैं, वो विचार के आधार पर जिस विचार ये कहता है ये अनित्य परिवर्तनशील ये प्रपंच के जो अनेकानेक असंख्य वस्तु पदार्थ है, वो केवल मात्र एक क्षण के लिए एक दृश्य मात्र है, ये नाम रूपों के खेल है, इसमें कोई अंतिम वास्तविकता नहीं है। ये सब स्वप्नवत है या नाटक जैसा है। और इस अनित्य के ये दृश्य रूप जो खेल है, उसके पीछे, उसके परे एक नित्य अपरिवर्तनीय, एक परिपूर्ण शाश्वत अविनाशी एक तत्व है, जिसका कभी अभाव नहीं है, कभी अभाव नहीं था, हमेशा रहा है, अभी भी है, हमेशा रहेगा, और उसमें कोई तिनका भर भी परिवर्तन नहीं होता है। वो समरस है, एक है, परिपूर्ण है, उसका परिपूर्णता कभी घटता नहीं है। ऐसा एक अनादि अनंत सर्वपरिपूर्ण अविनाशी तत्व है। ये है ऐसा हम मन के विचार द्वारा स्थापित कर सकते हैं। विचार द्वारा हम इसका थोड़ा बहुत वो ये पता लगा सकते हैं, विचार करके वो थोड़ा सा मन में थोड़ा सा रिफ्लेक्शन, मनन करके, क्योंकि हम अपना अनुभव क्या है, किसी कारण के बिना कोई कार्य प्रकट नहीं होता है। बीज के बिना वृक्ष नहीं आता है, अंडे के बिना एक पक्षी नहीं आता है। हर चीज के लिए कुछ ना कुछ कारण है। इसलिए यदि एक साधारण अल्प वस्तु जो आजकल हमारे पाश्चात्य वैज्ञानिकों ने अपना लैबोरेटरी के अंदर भी बनाने लग गए हैं, अपना इससे प्रगति से, विज्ञान का प्रगति से वो आप स्वयं सृष्टिकर्ता बन करके लैबोरेटरी के अंदर कंडीशंस क्रिएट करके बनाने लग गए हैं। तो ऐसा एक अल्प वस्तु इसको मानव स्वयं सृष्टि करना लग गया, वो भी बिना किसी कारण के नहीं आ रहा है। तब विचार करते हैं कि अरे बाप रे बाप, तब ये है तो ये जो ब्रह्मांड, ये विचार सृष्टि, ये चंद्रमा, ये सूर्य, ये तारामंडल में असंख्य अगण्य तारागण हैं, ये इनका क्या बिना कोई कारण के संभावना है? असंभव। और उसको छोड़ा इतना दूर ये ब्रह्मांड के तरफ हम क्यों अपना मन को दौड़ाना है? तो अपने आप के ऊपर दृष्टि करो। अपने आप के ऊपर दृष्टि करने से मालूम होता है अरे हम कितना विचित्र रचना है भगवान की। सचमुच यदि मानव की इस शारीरिक वैचित्र के ऊपर थोड़ा भी कोई विचार करे, बस वो तो बिल्कुल he'll be stunned. A little reflection on what is happening inside you every day, every moment, every split second. You will be standing aghast at the wonder and the marvel of what you are, what an intricate machine you are, what a delicate and sensitive the apparatus, the mind, the central nervous system. और वास्तव में ये तो हम जरूर मानना है, यदि ये अद्भुत ये जो वस्तु है, इसके बारे में आश्चर्यचकित होकर के अरे कोई एक महान ये ज्ञान है, ज्ञान की स्रोत है, सम ग्रेट इंटेलिजेंस, source of intelligence, that alone could have created such an intricate machinery as the human body. ऐसा कोई ग्रहण करना हो, सबसे ज़्यादा ये एनाटॉमी फिजियोलॉजी जो करते हैं, मॉडर्न सर्जन्स जो हैं, they are the best fitted, and no one else in the world would be able to appreciate the marvel that is the human mechanism than an actual doctor, a surgeon, a anatomist, more than anyone else. क्योंकि तो हमको पता ही नहीं है हमारे अंदर क्या है. हम जाकर के हम इतना ही जानते हैं कि हम जाकर के मिरर के सामने देखने में हमारा शक्ल ऐसा है, ये हम जानते हैं. लेकिन अंदर की जो अत्यंत विचित्र, अत्यंत अतुल्य, अत्यंत कल्पना से भी परे जो चीज़ अंदर है और हर वक्त हर मिनट हो रहा है, एनाबॉलिज्म, कैटाबॉलिज्म, the metabolic process of wear and tear and the building of the worn and torn tissues and the elimination, casting out of the worn and torn, the unnecessary the debris, all these things, if you think, will stand aghast. Unless there is some marvelous cosmic intelligence, these things cannot be brought about by an unintelligent principle. ऐसा करके जब इस विशाल ब्रह्मांड का ऊपर थोड़ा बहुत हम निगाह देते हुए ये विशालता को जो असीमित है इसके ऊपर विचार करते हैं और हमारे ही ऊपर दृष्टि रखते हुए जब देखते हैं, मालूम होता है कि अवश्यमेव ये दृश्य जगत की एक क्षणिक नाशवान आद्यंतवंत जो दृश्य मात्र नाम रूप है, नाम रूप की खैर है, इसके पीछे जरूर एक और तत्व है. और जिन्होंने इस तत्व के खोज में जाकर के इसको हम पहचानना चाहिए, इसको हम देखना चाहिए, इसको हम अनुभव करना चाहिए, ऐसा करके पूरा जीवन भर इस खोज में लगा करके, तपस्या करके, ध्यान करके, विचार करके, निधिध्यासन करके, चर्चा करके और उनके साथ में पुनः पुनः ध्यान करके जो उनको ये बोध हो गया है, उनके अंदर ज्ञान की एकदम अंदर प्रकाश खुल गया है, इल्यूमिन्ड बाय दैट इनर डिवाइन विजडम, तो वो जो उन लोगों ने तो है, हमने देखा है, हमने इसका अनुभव किया है, इसके पीछे जरूर सब जो कुछ आप देखते हैं ये तो बिल्कुल ये तो छाया है, लेकिन वास्तविकता जो है, द सॉलिड रियलिटी इज द अनसीन, नॉट द सीन आउटवर्ड अपीयरेंस, बट द अनसीन इज द रियल. अनसीन इज द ओनली रियलिटी. व्हाट यू आर थिंकिंग टू बी रियलिटी इज जस्ट ए टेम्पररी अपीयरेंस, मोमेंटरी अपीयरेंस. ऐसा करके उन्होंने अपना अनुभव के, अनुभूति के अधिकार पर घोषणा करके हमको आश्वासन दिया है. जरूर जिस तरह से हमने उसकी खोज में लगा करके उसके लिए उचित साधना, तपस्या इत्यादि प्रयत्न किया, अटूट अखंड प्रयत्न किया, आप भी उसका अनुभव कर सकते हैं. ये सबके लिए अनुभव करने के अंदर जो कुछ शक्तियां चाहिए वो भगवान दे रखा है, सब क्षमताएं अंदर आपके अंदर है. इट इज इनहेरेंट. द टूल्स फॉर अटेनिंग इल्यूमिनेशन एंड हायर लिबरेशन इनहेरेंट इन एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग. That is the uniqueness of human beings as compared with all the rest of living creatures in this wonderful thing called God's creation. ऐसा करके उन लोगों ने कहा है. लेकिन ये दोनों वस्तु होते हुए भी हमारे ही बुद्धि से हम थोड़ा सा विचार करके, विवेक करके, सोच करके समझ पाए भगवान ऐसा कुछ ना कुछ होना चाहिए, एक चीज होना चाहिए, नहीं तो ये दृश्य जगत और हम नहीं आ सकते हैं बिना इसके लिए कोई कारण, और जो कारण परम शक्तिशाली भी हो और परम ज्ञान से संपूर्ण भी हो, omniscient and omnipotent. Some principle is there which alone could have made possible our existence and the existence of this entire universe. ऐसा करके by reasoning and reflecting and deep thinking we may come to this conclusion, we may come even to this conviction, and we may have the authoritative declaration of those who are actually experienced that great reality. Nevertheless, both of them are second hand. We have to take them on trust, keep faith. आप्तवाक्य है, विचार से थोड़ा बहुत हम तो आप्तवाक्य अपना बातों को, अनुभूति को कभी कभी लिखित रूप में कुछ ग्रंथों के द्वारा भी रख करके गए हैं, रिकॉर्ड, उसलिए बोलते हैं श्रुति है, लेकिन इट इज नॉट इनफ टू सेटिस्फाई मी. I would also like to see. How can I see? देखा हुआ नहीं है, सुना हुआ है, समझा हुआ है, लेकिन देखा तो नहीं हुआ है. और मनुष्य के मन जो है बिना कोई आकृति, नाम, रूप, कुछ ना कुछ गुण, माने कुछ कॉन्क्रीट ये क्वालिटी और प्रिंसिपल और इसके सिवाय वो किसी चीज का विचार नहीं कर सकता है. वो ये मानव के मन की ये सीमित अवस्था है, द फाइनाइट नेचर ऑफ द ह्यूमन माइंड, एंड द लिमिटेशंस thus imposed upon it by its finite nature, being bound within the framework of time and space, etc. It is capable of only functioning विषयाकार वृत्ति के द्वारा ही उसका पूरा फंक्शनिंग चलता है. इसलिए उसको एक आधार चाहिए. अनुभव प्राप्त कर लिया तो मन से परे जाकर के ज्ञान चक्षु के द्वारा, अर्जुन also begs at the end of 10th chapter when the Lord has told him all about the glories of his immanence in this universe and his special presence in various category of things in this universe, and thus says, this is how I am present everywhere in this universe. In and through so many things you can know me. And why dilate upon this thing? Let me tell you, I have pervaded this entire universe with a little infinitesimal portion of myself, and I tower above and beyond it in the vastness of my true being. ऐसा जब भगवान ने कहा, Arjun was very convinced. He was quite convinced. He was quite convinced. But like you and me, when the next discourse starts, what situation do you see? Arjun says, wonderful thing you have described. Yes, I am able to understand it, but I am seized with an irresistible longing, if possible, to actually see what you have told me just now. That I am here, I am there, I am everywhere, I am this thing, I am in that thing in this universe. It is true, but is it possible for me to actually behold it, behold you being there? Ashwatam aham vrikshanam. Can I look at Ashwata tree and see you there instead of the Ashwata tree? It's possible. Sarasamasmi Jhannavi. Can I see you here instead of just a flowing water? Can I actually see you, O Lord? We see only the snow peaks of the Himalayas and we are much exhilarated. But he says, Saranam Himalaya. Can I actually see you? When I look at behold the peaks of the Himalayas, can I see you instead of the Himalayan peak and white snow and all that? I saw when he begins to ask, he pleads, he makes a touching plea. if possible, it is possible for me to see. We should forever be grateful to Arjuna for what he did in making this request to Lord Krishna at the beginning of the 11th Adhyaya. Because it is that request of Arjuna that is given to us as part of our legacy that we have inherited as our sublime cultural heritage in the past. This vision of this world as God, the whole universe as a great expanded manifestation of the unseen, the invisible, the transcendental, Paratparaha. And Lord Krishna says, no, it is not possible. Even the gods, celestials themselves do not know it. It is a rare experience. Very, very few, very difficult indeed to get such people who have had such experience. Vasudeva sarvamiti sah mahatma sudurlabha. He does not merely say durlabha, he says sudurlabha. Very difficult to come across such a great souled one who has actually had this experience. Everything is indeed that being who is who indwells all things. Vasanat Vasudevasya Vasudam Bhuvanatprem Sarvabhuta Nivasosi Vasudeva Namastute. That experience is only very few people. Very few people. Yatadamapi siddhanam kachin mam vetti tattvata. So, he knows, he says it is not possible. But yet, because you are very dear to me, we must thank Lord Krishna also for taking that attitude. We all in order to give this great experience to us. He was not thinking of Arjuna only at that moment. Krishna is a master, super master in the art of pretense. So actually he wanted to give all of us a glimpse of this great, staggering and indescribable vision, this experience. Therefore, he said, all right, you are very dear to me, great friend of mine, I will give this to you. I will make a rare exception and then give it to you. But with these fleshy eyes of yours, you cannot see, you cannot behold that. That is a spiritual vision. That is a spiritual truth and reality. It can only be seen through the eye of intuition, the spiritual vision, not with these fleshy eyes. Therefore, I have to give you divine sight. Then only you will be able to see. Because you are dear to me, I will give you the divine sight. Aisa karke divyam dadami te chakshu. He gives that divine sight. And Arjuna is staggered. He looks, beholds. He cannot breathe. Waves after waves of ecstasy, thrill. Dumbstruck with wonderment, amazement. Dumbstruck, because never has he ever experienced what he has experienced. Wherever he sees only God. He sees only divinity. He sees only that tremendous effulgence, that light, that presence, making itself felt. Everywhere he sees that everything that he thought was the world or universe is nothing but diverse and manifold expressions and dynamic manifestations of that great power, great being, that great reality. And staggered and overcome with awe by that experience. He cannot do anything. He starts glorifying it and again starts prostrating before it. I prostrate myself before you. In front of, from the front I prostrate before you. From behind I prostrate before you. From your right and the left sides I prostrate before you. above and below and everywhere I prostrate. Because wherever he turns, he sees only, he is surrounded by this great vision, this great presence, this great effulgence, this great indescribable something which is overwhelming. And he breaks forth into a paean of praise, glorification. But after a time, certain aspects of it are so awesome, that suddenly that admiration gives rise to a sudden fear. He is overcome by fear. Trembling, he starts trembling. And then ultimately says, enough, I cannot take it anymore. Oh Lord, enough. You have shown me this wondrous form of yours, never beheld by anyone before hitherto. Now I please supplicate thee, I pray to thee. Please withdraw this terrible, this indescribable form. Withdraw it and appear to me once again as you were before this form was projected to my vision. Appear to me once again as you were before. Teneva rupena chaturbhujena. That means at that time in your Sarthi, Krishna was chaturbhuja, not with 2 hands, 4 hands. So he has to ultimately say, enough, please withdraw this. So one Arjuna, the records are there. So we require, the point in saying it is, even though we may be able to grasp and be convinced through intellect and faith and mind and also, even though so much we might have heard from those who have experienced it, yet we have not actually seen it. We have not actually experienced it. We have not actually beheld it or touched it. Therefore, out of this need of man, out of this need of this finite human mind, otherwise it will always be a far off, abstruse, abstract concept upon which you will have to struggle to direct your mind, fix it. Though later on artists have come and they have tried to make statues and sculptures, and then Chitrakala people have tried to paint and all that through descriptions in Puranas and Bhagavad and all that. But then everything leaves you with a sense of dissatisfaction. You cannot see it, you are not seeing it. Because the mind wants something concrete, something right there before you, to which you can talk, to which you can tell something, to which you can pray, to which you can go for consolation, go for advice, guidance. Therefore, to fulfill this indispensable human need, God manifests Himself in human society, within the course of human life, as certain perfect beings, filled with His qualities of divinity, filled with His qualities of wisdom, purity, compassion, kindness, equal vision, joy, peace. All these keep radiating from these people. The moment you go near them, immediately you feel that you are somewhere else. You forget this world. You forget everything. Your mind is filled with peace, with joy. All your sorrows drop away from you. For the time being, there is something in the presence of these divine beings that completely changes your vision, changes your consciousness, lifts you up from darkness. Then everything becomes clear. Okay? You are in peace and joy. You are taken, lifted beyond yourself, and you are in a different state of consciousness. In the very presence, even a moment's presence of these illumined divine beings. Divinities are not. Divinities are not. They are called vibhutis. We call them vibhutis. To distinguish them, not to differentiate them, but to distinguish them from actual known, recognized avatars. We have Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Bhargava, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Kalki, and the 14 Upa-avatars, like Narada, Vyasa, and Hamsa, and so many other Dattatreya and other Upa-avatars, which have been actually given a place in the scriptures, mentioned specifically. They are avatars, Purna avatars. But then, these Vibhutis are human individuals, essentially, but filled with the divine principle, divine lusts of the divine quality, so that in their presence we feel God. In their presence, no doubt anymore lingers that He is God. Is He here, there? Is He not there? Is it? There is no doubt, there is no unanswered question or doubt in His presence. The fact of being in the presence makes it absolutely certain to us there is God. Why? If I can behold here in this living individual this type of perfection, which you cannot find anywhere in the world, in any other individual, if such a perfection is possible for the human world, in human society, in a being who is also flesh and blood like me, born of a father and mother, then what doubt is there that there is God? I have beheld my God here, the visible God. Visible God. And so, if this visible God can manifest this perfection, there should certainly be a source of such beings. And our great good fortune, our unparalleled good fortune, we who are born in this land of Ganga and Himalayas, this Punya Bhumi, Matra Bhumi, this Punya Bhumi, this hallowed land of Bharatavarsha, our special great good fortune is that such Godmen, such Vibhutis, Divya Vibhutis, have been the order of the day in our entire history, in all generations. They have never been absent, they have always been present. They have ever been kept coming. And each one created more vibhutis whenever he came. Just like tree grows and spreads branches and puts forth flowers and fruit, each one of these people, Shankaracharya came, 4 gems he left. In this way, from as far back as remote times beyond written history, known human history, from the ancient past, this land has always been blessed with the advent and the presence of such great Tattvaveta, Brahmajnani, Godmen, Devata Purush, filled with divine qualities. When we see the divine qualities, we say, there can be no doubt there should be a God. If we can behold. So, they beheld God in such perfect human beings. And out of this experience came the conviction that God from time to time comes into this human world, besides and apart from the known avatars, keeps on coming into the human world as all perfect human individuals, filled with His divine quality. And they are His vibhuti. They are a proof that He exists as a source. And they move like ordinary human beings in ordinary human society, but unmistakably divine. And thus they fulfill the deep need of the finite human mind to have something visible for it to see. And immediately become convinced that there is divine perfection, that there is divinity, that there is wonderful love, wonderful compassion, wonderful kindness, wonderful wisdom, great peace, great purity, supreme wisdom, everything. Therefore, they regarded these great vibhutis, these God-men, as no other than God. They said, there is a whole work devoted to referring to these great men. It's called Guru Gita. One of our Guru Bhais, Swami Chidanandaji Maharaj, Chidanandaji Maharaj has translated Guru Gita into English, and it has been published by our Divine Life Society. Whole of Guru Gita in English. I don't know whether it's available now. And they said, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And addressing the Guru, the disciple says, Tvam hi Vishnur Virinchistum Tvanchadevo Maheshwara Tvanchaiva Shakti Ruposi Nirgunastvam Sanatana. Thou art the ancient one, a timeless one, Nirguna Brahman, the transcendental reality, beyond any qualities, attributeless transcendental reality. Thou art also the cosmic power through which one becomes manifest as many. Thou art the cosmic power, Parashakti. Thou art also the creator Brahma, thou art also the preserver Vishnu, thou art also the dissolver Maheshwara, everything thou art. And the yajna is to have the supreme good fortune to say something about this living God who came into our lives and with the mere glance of his eyes lifted us, see, from doubt to certainty, from doubt to certainty, from hesitation to resolution and determination. Gave us strength, gave us light. And about the life of this great one, all of you know. Everyone who does not know. That he was born in Pattamade, a small little village in southern end of South India, which is now called Tamil Nadu. Once upon a time used to be called Madras Presidency. In far south of Tamil Nadu, in a little village 15 miles from the nearest railway station junction called Tirunelveli, in a small village by the beautiful river Tamrabarani, this great man was born to Mother Parvati Amma and Father Sri Venguayar, both pious, believers in God, with bhakti, devotion, endowed with bhakti, and a staunch adherent of all the traditional ways of worshipping God. Venguayar was a Shiva Bhakta. He used to worship God daily in his house. All this, those who have seen the biography, the life of Gurudev, you know how he studied. He was a brilliant student, he was a well-developed gymnast, and also he was a very compassionate person. He would not allow a beggar to pass by without calling him and giving some alms, and insisted upon something being given to any poor person who asked for something. He would not allow his father or mother. And then he shone brilliantly as a student. Then after he had matriculated, he joined this medical school in Tanjore. How he became qualified for medicine. Then how he left at a young age as a youth to Malaysia, what is now called Malaysia. In those days it was part and parcel of the British Empire. India, Burma, Ceylon, and then Malaysia. It was called FMS, Federated States of Malaya and Singapore. Okay? There he went to find his fortune, worked as a doctor, got Vairagya. When what is said in the Gita became daily experience to him, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha. He saw it. And seeing this is Vairagya. Not seeing everything is very nice, everything is enjoyable, I must have this, I must have that, and wild goose chase, running after sense objects, and then becoming afterwards frustrated and disappointed, and afterwards contracting disease and restlessness. No object satisfies one completely. Therefore, even after getting the objects, you are dissatisfied. You fail to get full satisfaction. So there is atripti, asantush, all these things. But those whose eyes are opened, they see all things here as coated with the varnish of death. This quotation from Gurudev. All things in this world are coated with the varnish of death. So he saw death only. Everything is here only temporary, it is going to perish. So, and he had the necessity of coming every day into contact with human suffering. The doctor always has to do, as the Gujaratis have got a very nice word for patients. One who suffers is called a patient. Dardi. And in Tamil also, exact same identical term is Tamil language, Noyadi. They call a patient Noyadi. And in Gujarat they call a patient Dardi. Jinko darad hai. And Noyadi means same thing, Jinko darad hai. And perhaps the English word patience came because having all this pain and suffering, they patiently bear it. And go to the doctor only until they cannot bear it afterwards. It's too much. Until that they have been bearing this. Those are called patients. And I suppose nowadays in doctors' clinics they have to wait, keep on waiting for their turn to come. After. So they require patience there also. So one who waits in the doctor's waiting room, he is also a patient because he takes a token and goes and sits. So until the token number is called, he has to wait. And sometimes they grow old also there. So someone said, how long have you been sitting? Well, I was clean shaven when I came here, doctor. So a little growth of beard had taken place by the time his turn came. Maybe he went there in the morning, was called in the afternoon. So, coming daily, day after day, in his hospital work, into actual contact with suffering people, groaning people, people with pain, and sorrowing relatives who bring them there. And they also take upon themselves their pain. They are also full of sorrow. Please do something for this person, doctor. He is my son. He has fallen ill. Since 3 weeks he is suffering like that. And he doesn't eat anything. The whole night he is groaning. They are also with a load of grief in their heart. Relatives bring patients. Patients themselves suffering. Any discerning person in whom there is some spark of vivek, which are of receptivity, he sees this day after day, day after day. And suddenly, in spite of compassionate efforts to save a patient, sometimes the patient dies. So, he says Janma as well as Mrityu, and old age, and Jara, and Vyadhi, and Dukkha due to all these things. Dukkha due to Mrityu, Dukkha due to Vyadhi, Dukkha due to Jara. No one cares for you when you are old. And eyes open, Vairagya comes. And thus, coming every day into direct contact with life in the raw, as it is, not as people imagine when they have not got experience, as people imagine. It is said, just before the French Revolution, the common populace rose in revolt against the king and the rule of the king and queen. And then soon, day by day, this became more and more acute. There was shouting and marching, and then people gathering together and surrounding the palace. And the queen called one of her ministers and said, "What is this? What are they shouting for? See, your royal majesty, they are crying for bread. Then why don't you give them bread? There is no bread. Well, if they cannot get bread, why don't you give them cake? If they have no bread, let them eat cake. Right? They have no experience of poverty, they have no experience of starvation, they have no experience of hunger, they have no experience of the agony of poverty, starvation and hunger. So this queen did not know what the minister was saying. If they have no bread, why should they shout? Let them eat cake. Because in the palace, everything is plenty. चपाती नहीं है तो परोटा है, परोटा नहीं है तो पूरी है, पूरी नहीं है तो और कुछ है, खाकरा है, इस तरह से. But she does not know their condition. But when a doctor works among poor people, because Dr. Kuppaswami's work was among poor people, among rubber tappers, Indians, Indian indentured labor, Malays, Chinese, all laboring in order to fill their stomach appeals and hunger. And therefore, he saw day after day, month after month, year after year, and he was a sensitive person, and the Purva samskaras were there, dormant. These samskaras began to slowly get activated. So what is this life? You call this life? How people can run after life? This is the reality. And to him that was the reality. Being a doctor and daily coming into contact with the pain, suffering, disease, bereavement, grief, poverty. So a day dawned and he said, "Fie on this life. What is there in this? This is not life, this is hell on earth." And so it turned him deeply inward. Because where the nature is very sensitive, where it is easily susceptible to truths, much discourses and much teachings is not necessary. It is only in Mandamati. Someone said, the only way a man was trying to teach his students mathematics, day after day, day after day, day after day. There were a couple of students, no matter how much trouble, personal trouble, he went to their place and then tried to explain to them. And once he said, "I despair of you two people. The only way I can ever think of making these things enter your head is to write all the answers and all that and put it into a bullet and shoot it." Then only it may enter your head and find some place in your brain. Otherwise, I despair of ever making this knowledge to enter your brain and like that. But sensitive people means Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, saw only one old man. That was enough for him. For 2 or 3 weeks he was upset, brooding, thinking about that sight he had seen. Old man, walking, tottering with the... So he said, "Chana, what is this creature that seems to be moving on 3 legs?" Because he had never seen an old man, he only knew healthy youngsters, friends surrounding him, walking on 2 legs. And here was a bent creature, 2 legs and another 3rd leg also. What is this creature walking as it were on 3 legs? He said, "My dear prince, it is an old person." What do you mean old person? It is a person who has lived for a long time. And so what? When he has lived for a long time, gradually the body becomes weak. And therefore, it is unable to stand up and unable to support itself without a third support. And this is old age. Sir, do all people become old like this? He said, "Yes, beloved prince, all people." And inevitable third question was, "I also?" "Yes, one day you also will." "I also will become like this." "Yes, one day all have to become even you." But enough, Chana. Turn the chariot, take me back to the palace. Like that, one sight of something painful, hitherto not experienced, was enough to make his mind deeply introspective. think, what is there in life? If everyone to end in this stage, miserable stage. And I also to become like that. He looks at his limbs, all youthful, young, but I also will become like that. Then they find that he is brooding. King becomes concerned. News goes to the ministers and says, "Oh no. Try to find new ways of diverting the prince's mind. Have nice music, have some festival, have some sports, have some dance, drama and all that." And he tries to divert the mind of the prince away from this, whatever it was, because no one knows. And the charioteer dare not tell him that he has taken him out of the garden. Then gradually, after a month or so, it wears off. Then once again the curiosity to see the outside world catches hold of Siddhartha. Second time he goes, he enjoys many things. He is excited by many things. He is all interested in that. But after some time, a sick man, outside his hut, they have brought a man, चारपाई डाला है, करके groan कर रहा है. A whole family has gathered around him. Some son is fanning him and daughter is coming to try to make him drink. He cannot drink properly. The wife is there. All comes and says, "What is this? Why they are all looking very sad and what is happening to them?" "Oh, prince, he is ill." "What is illness?" "The disease is afflicted with the body. He is suffering." Disease and suffering? Does this happen to all? One time or other, everyone has to undergo this time. Me too? Yes. So like that, even one side of old age and the deprecate state, and one side of disease and suffering, and ultimately the breaking last thing he sees the third time, after much interval, the third time he ventures, sees pallbearers bearing a dead man to the cemetery. And they are all weeping. Those are following behind. And the young prince is filled with compassion. He said, "Chana, why this person is so heartless? Why does he not try to console these people who are weeping for him?" That beloved prince, he does not know that he cannot get up. Why? Because he is dead. But what means death? So it is a condition where the person is finished. And he can neither hear, nor see, nor touch, nor move, and he is as good as a log of wood. Dead. Dead means he cannot do anything. And he cannot even sit up and try to console. No. He does not feel what they are going on. No, he cannot. Then where are they taking him? They are taking him to the cremation ground. They are putting him upon some firewood, then set fire. They will burn him? Yes, he won't know. He is already dead. There is nothing in the body. They will burn him. It is just like the firewood upon which they will put. So the weeping and wailing party and this corpse, dead body going, makes a very deep impression. He is heavy, overcome by strange feeling. He is not able to analyze or try to understand. Very great tumult within him, overcome by the heaviness. He said, all right, let us go back. And it is on their way back to the palace, garden palace, passing by near a park, a remote part of the city, out of the residential area. Under a tree in the park, he finds a monk sitting, and the monk's face is radiating peace. There is a serenity, a joy, which he has never seen on the face of anyone. And he says, "Chana, go slow, stop for a while." He stops and look there. Who is that being whose face is radiant like the sun, whose face radiates so much of peace and joy? Chana looks, he sees the bhikkhu. He says, "Beloved prince, he is an all-renouncing monk. He has given up all desire for anything in this world. He has no desire. He is not attached to anything. He has renounced everything. He is a monastic. He is one in the Nivritti Marga, seeking the eternal. And whence this radiance, whence this peace, serenity? Because he has given up desire. He has no desire. It is the desire that brings about agitation and ashanti and all that. Aha! So that means even in this world filled with old age, pain, disease and death, it is possible to find such a state of absolute serenity, absolute peace, absolute joy. It's possible. So he is a monk who has renounced everything, who has given up all desire. He is not attached to anything. Yes, 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 your prince. Oh. Then and there, already the seed is sown. See, deep within Buddha, something says, I must become like him. That is life. I must become like him. And then he says, yes, yes, yes. It is wonderful. Now let us go back, Chana. And both charioteer and prince return. From that time onward, the prince, young prince, is deep in thought, but of a different kind now. Not agitated, not sadness, not sorrow, not anything, but deep in thought of a different kind. That is the life indeed. Then alone one can find serenity. And what radiance in that face. I am sure he has found the key to blessedness. I am sure he has found the secret of going beyond sorrow and attaining peace and joy. That key I must also find. That secret I must also find. Not for myself. I must find and proclaim it to all mankind. So no more shall man sorrow in this universe. All must go beyond sorrow. All must experience that supreme peace, which is possible. I have seen it. I have seen it with my own eyes. From that time the resolution comes. I must also go forth. I must also do the needful effort, and I must find out the secret that he has found out. I must find out the secret key that takes one beyond sorrow and confers upon one peace and joy. Thus this starts. It obsesses the whole day and night. He only thinks of that. And the culmination of it, all of you know. Similar process went in Dr. Kuppaswami's mind. Slowly, slowly, day and night, he began to think. I must no longer simply be a mute, helpless witness, beholder of this human sorrow, suffering, pain, sadness, agony. No. I can no longer bear to be a mute, helpless witness. I must do tapasya and find out the great light and somehow or other find out that path which leads man to self-knowledge, illumination, and takes one beyond death and rebirth. Because after all, the background was a Hindu background. His father was a bhakta and a devotee. So it was not that he had not heard about scriptures about mukti and kaivalya and sadhana and tapasya. He must have heard about the great rishis, munis and all that. But then in his youth he was such an ebullient personality, such outgoing, you see, not an introvert at all, not by any means. He was a total extrovert personality, very ebullient, very enthusiastic for everything and full of interest in everything. See? He was full of interest in life, full of enthusiasm for everything, and he was an ebullient, outgoing personality. And he liked dynamism, he liked meeting people, he was like mixing people. And therefore, at that time, those things did not make much impression, they were there. But now they were sparked out by living contact with death and pain and suffering and disease and sorrow and bereavement. Then those things came up. Yes, this is what our ancient rishis did. I must also renounce. I must also go. I must also do the dhyana and tapasya, practice yoga abhyasa. And it was in this state of mind that by peculiar circumstances a book came into his hand. and old, much read, half-torn, much read old book. A book written by a Siddha, a Yogi Purush, a Jnani. And it was written in his own mother tongue, in Tamil language, by a well-known yogi called Sachidananda Yogi. Sachidananda Yogi. And the book was an exposition of the secret of the identity of the individual soul with the Supreme Soul. Jiva Brahma Aikya Tattva Rahasyam. The secret of the truth of the identity of the individual soul and the cosmic being, Supreme Soul. Jiva and Brahman. Secret of their identity. This Sachidananda Yogi. It came to him in a very peculiar circumstances. But suffice it to say that it came to him. And he found it on a table. And he started reading it. This was the first direct Vedantic book he had read. Other books he must have read about lives of saints and all these things. And many of the compositions of Tamil saints he must have read and all that. But this thing opened his eyes. He started getting more and more absorbed in studying this. And slowly an inner revolution started taking place within his mind. Inner revolution. Day by day he became more and more absorbed in that inner reality, in that supreme, highest, ultimate goal of human life, not this lesser goals of his professional work, that and this. And therefore, he really, just as in Buddha, after the third sallying forth, after seeing the phenomenon of death and the phenomenon of non-attachment, desirelessness, renunciation, and bliss and peace of that, as he became deeply thoughtful, engrossed in that idea, same idea now took possession of this young doctor. He must have been about 36 years at that time, 35 years maybe. Thinking, reading. Gradually his interest became inward. He started spending more and more hours in spiritual sadhana, in worship, in dhyan, in prayer. And ultimately, see, by that time he had left the services of the two English doctors under whom he was serving, Dr. Parsons and Dr. Garlick. He left them from the west coast and came over to the southernmost tip of Malaya Peninsula and settled down in a town called Johor Bahru. Until that he was in a western town called Seramban. Seramban, in a tea estate. Sinawang, there is a village called Sinawang, huge rubber estate, and he was in charge of the hospital there, assisting two British doctors. Then he resigned that post, left Sinawang and came and settled down in Johor Bahru, started a practice of his own. Then he was master of his own time. He must have left it because he found that his inner change and then working hours there did not fit in. So he bid adieu to that employment and came, I will try my own hand. And therefore he had his own clinic in Johor Bahru. And during that time, a subtle change came on the outer life also. And when patients came, because then there was no separate clinic, he saw patients in his own house. When patients came, he found they had to wait in the veranda. The doctor was in the puja room. And he had kept portraits of one or two well-known saints in the puja room and lamp burning, deeply absorbed in study, in japa and meditation. And ultimately, told, all right, examined him, all right. You will become all right, don't worry. And gave him a few hints on diet, etc. Take care, avoid this, do this. And then took him inside the puja room, gave him a packet of vibhuti. Perhaps that is what once again he started here. gave him a packet of sacred vibhuti of Shiva Puja, and then made him drink Charanamrit. 3 sips of Charanamrit, a packet of vibhuti, will be all right to go. I will pray for you. That was the ultimate phase in the once very flourishing, very serious medical career of Dr. Swami. And it is during this time that a decision was taken. Finished. Now, no more. The inner call has come. That is the life for me, Nivritti Marga. Seclusion, silence, intense meditation, self-discipline, austerity, titiksha, tapasya, strong pull. You say, someone 2 or 3 generations removed from him was also a sannyasi in his family. And of course, 22 generations back, he had a great, very great sage, man of knowledge and experience as his ancestor, called Appaya Dikshata. So when this change came, then his life in Malaya